Hi, and welcome to the All Things ITSM Global podcast, coming to you from BMC Engage in Las Vegas. I'm Kirsty McGowan, and I'm here with Charlie Betts.
Hello, Kirsty.
Carlos Casanova.
Hello, Kirsty.
And it's a pleasure to welcome Dennis Drogseth from Enterprise Management Associates.
Hi,
Again,
Kirsty.
we've spoken to you once before.
Yes,
Welcome
we did.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Dennis.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, Dennis, it's good to see you again. I've just been such a fan of your research for so many years. When I was first looking at CMDB years ago as an architect, you were the first guy that I saw who was actually writing some standard material on it. But my understanding is more recently you've been looking at IT and digital transformation. You've done a little work with Charlie Araujo of IT Service Management Forum on that.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So here's the story. We started out, we were going to focus on IT transformation because Charlie Araujo is also a part of the IT Transformation Institute. Well, he's kind of driving it. That's his. And I really look forward to it because it's a really big chance to see patterns that you don't normally get to check out, right? We're going to look at business stakeholders, which we did about 30%, and then about 70% IT executives and leadership. And we wanted global, so we looked at APAC and Europe and North America. We started sort of socializing the research before we did it. We saw that everybody really wanted us to do digital transformation. And they weren't talking about, Penn and Teller magicians with their hands. They were talking about digital transformation. So we said, fine. And our original title was IT Transformation in the Digital Age. Now it became Digital and IT Transformation. And I think it's the first research. We got the data in, and I'm still analyzing it. Really good data. The first research that really looks at how that IT and digital transformation come together, really looks at how business stakeholders view it versus IT stakeholders, and there's some differences. And also some geographical differences, but really, we looked at technologies, what technologies applied, we looked at best practices, we looked at process, we looked at partnerships, we looked at metrics in detail, how are people measuring it? Yeah. We looked at what was successful, what makes you successful or not. So what was the upshot? I'll be doing a webinar, I'll make a pitch on September 30th. You can go to the EMA website and register and get a lot more detail. But probably the number one salient thing, and it actually was it was good, but surprised me. IT and digital transformation are definitely birds of a feather. You don't get to digital without IT. If IT is stuck in its own silos and all the traditional things that we've heard for years, digital transformation is not a good fairy coming in and waving a magic wand and saying we're now in the digital age. Have a chocolate. It's not
I thought it was.
So IT really has to do all those things, and we looked at cloud and agile, by the way, in some detail as well in terms of their relevance. Sure. And IT really has to do all those things that we've always known they had to do. It's a cultural change, it's a process change, becoming more service aware. ITSM is one of the areas in the forefront, actually. And politics and organization were the biggest issues for IT. The business, interestingly enough, the biggest issue was lack of a clear and compelling vision. Which tells me that nobody really quite understands in most environments what this new animal really has to be. And it's going to require IT to get its act together.
Right.
And it's going to require business stakeholders to become more conversant with the opportunities around digital services. And that's a big shift for both.
Yeah. Now, did you find, in the research, and I know you're still going through some of it, some of that data that's coming back, were you able to kind of parse out the organizations that were doing it better?
Yeah.
What were their drivers? Why were they doing it? Was it clear, from the data, why they're even going down this road to make this transformation? Why, are some of them saying, we're happy with where we're at? So what's pushing them in that direction? Was that, did that come out of the data at all?
So in a way, that was the one question that our data was, well, we can answer it, but you have to realize that this was not research looking at just general population.
Sure.
Everyone in it was doing transformation of some
Right.
Oh, okay, all right.
Right. Our goal was to see if you were down that path and you made that
Commitment
decision,
to, right.
what were the factors that would allow you to be successful or not? What stood out there? And yeah, we could see why they were doing it. So for one, we looked at digital versus IT. We said your primary IT, or we had to define them. Digital in terms of transforming the business through digital services, and in terms of all the things, efficiencies, brand awareness, whatever. And IT in terms of transforming IT to become a more powerful ally of business needs and a more efficient, service-aware organization. It was pretty evenly balanced. There was a little more on the IT transformation side in reality. I mean, the reality is still there, but there were a good group, and then a lot were doing both. Quite a few were doing both. And about 10% thought they were interchangeable, because we gave them that option.
Right.
Yeah.
So the driver there, and then we looked at, is it the business stakeholder driving it, or is it the IT stakeholder? That was a fairly even discussion.
Right.
Although most of the...
It's kind of surprising to me, not to
Yeah.
interrupt, I mean, that kind of surprises me a little bit, that it's an even thing. And I don't know which way I would expect it to go, but I just find it odd that it's coming down sort of in the middle.
A little skewed more to IT, to be honest.
Really?
Well, I mean, IT professionals have been
Yeah.
told for how many years now, you need to start taking the business more seriously and stop being order takers and start understanding what the overall mission of the business is. Maybe some of that messaging starting to seep
Finally
in.
seeping in after 20 years?
Yeah, it's survival, right?
Yeah, it is survival.
They've got to do some movement.
Yeah.
Although, by the way, we look at, it's about human beings. We like to look at roles, and the business stakeholders were more inclined to think they were driving it, and the IT stakeholders were more inclined to think they were.
So they were right on the same page, like most organizations, right?
Each one thinks, yeah,
We
everybody thinks
gave
they're in
them
the driver's
exactly what we
seat.
told them we were going to give them.
Right.
That was nothing that we discussed.
On the other hand, in terms of oversight, it was almost unanimous that mostly IT was overseeing the direction,
Right.
ongoing oversight,
Yeah.
which is a different question.
Yeah, yeah. that makes
And
sense.
in terms of the motives and the drivers, actually it's a very granular discussion because we looked at a lot of different metrics and
Right.
objectives.
Right. Yeah, you could definitely infer stuff from the data, but you already identified this is a group that's going down that road. They've
Right.
made that. They've made that call.
We didn't want to be honest, waste the time with people who were not doing it.
Yeah.
Because all the
different
questions
study.
were designed
Yeah,
to
they
look
wouldn't
at
understand the
dynamics,
questions.
Yeah. So it's a totally different study to find out.
This
how they go.
was a
Right.
more progressive, generally. We were very executive focused on both sides for the
Right.
most part.
So, and I know we're getting close to wrapping up, but obviously because I really don't have any hardcore interest in it, but I think you wrote something about this 4-letter like CMDB thing.
I know you have
that
no
came out
interest in
recently?
that, Carlos, whatsoever. Yeah. So we did a book, and I know that you helped a little bit, and came out with Morgan Kaufman called CMDB Systems, Making Change Work in the Age of Cloud and Agile. And a lot of deployments in it. There's some, given the context here, there's some BMC content in the book.
Yep.
It was a great story about ADDM and cloud. And I'll say this, linking it back as we wrap up to the first thing. There were 4 technologies that stood out, above all, separating winners from losers in digital transformation.
Yeah.
The 4, in terms of where they were most different, right, from those who were not, successful. App performance management, data quality analytics and data quality management, which should make you happy, Charlie.
Absolutely. It's all about the data.
Social IT, believe it or not,
Right.
because communication was so key.
Right.
And CMDB, CMS, ADDM. Those are the 4
Yeah.
out of about, I want to say, we had broken up in different ways, out of about 40 options. Those were the 4 that
Yeah.
were the
Very
most
impressive.
dramatic.
Wow. Cool.
Very good.
Very good.
Well, Dennis, thanks a lot for your time this afternoon. It's been a pleasure chatting with you again.
Great to be here,
Yeah.
as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dennis.